Welcome back to Accept the Moments. I'm your host, Colton today. I'm joined by Josh, and
hey, that's me.
we have a few good stories for y'all. Actually, these were presented to us by some very special listeners of the podcast. So today we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the X's.
The X's?
I know, right?
Well, actually, funny enough, all of mine moved to Texas.
They moved out west.
They moved out west.
They're looking for the not you pastures.
Yeah. But anyway, our girlfriends came to us and was like, hey, you guys should do an episode about your exes, which to me just feels like a trap. I'm going to be honest.
It's kind of like, oh, so who'd you used to date, huh?
Yeah, let's tell the stories of that. So I'm actually dodging a bullet here because I'm talking about someone who I never actually dated. She was just crazy.
Yeah, she definitely wanted to date you, though.
Oh, yeah.
I remember this girl quite fondly. Yeah, she went to the...
She went to the Josh store. Oh, hey,
yeah.
Wow. I see.
She went to the window. She knew exactly what she wanted.
Oh, yeah, she was just like the kindergarten girl.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You
one thing I'll say really quickly is about the podcast before we get started with the stories, because Lord, we're in for a longer one with me today. But cameras. There are cameras in the studio, and we have not figured them out yet because they're honestly not super great. But, I mean...
They'll be on the, we're just having a few issues with them. We're planning on having them up by the next episode or two.
We're having some consistency problems. Basically, they're just not wanting to do anything. So when we figure that out, hopefully we'll have cameras figured out for the podcast so you can actually see us. Because I will say there's a lot that has been missed when it comes to... the looks we give each other and the awkward silences we've had to cut. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of like hand gestures that make it a lot funnier. But you know what else?
We flip each other off constantly.
You know what else is a obscene hand gesture, and what else is also not working out? Our exes.
Our exes. So anyway,
welcome back.
What's the extreme hand gesture for your exes? Oh, yeah.
Family-friendly double-barrel middle finger, baby. Yeah, I stole that joke anyway.
Yeah. At least you can acknowledge it.
Yeah,
anyway, do you have any that really are decent stories? Because I know you have, like, exes, but are there story-worthy?
I wouldn't say they're story-worthy. I have one that's definitely an interesting one. For about 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you want to, we can. Otherwise...
There was a girl I used to, early college, late high school, I used to hang out with a lot, and we dated a little bit, but it wasn't anything ever too serious. Mm-hmm. Things just went kind of bad. However, she had a lot of... her dad was, like, jacked.
Oh.
Yeah.
Colton, you dodged a bullet. No.
Nah, she, it was just weird. It was a weird time. It was early high school. We played a lot of games together, and it was just one of those, you know how those high school, or those late high school relationships are.
Yes.
They're not like...
I had one.
Yeah, they don't really stick. There's nothing there.
There's nothing, there's no true substance, yeah.
Yeah.
Substance.
Substance.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
You know. Yeah. I guess, did it stub you? It's so funny, he forgot to laugh.
Yeah, so
anyway. My dad jokes aside, there's not really much else to talk about with it. It's just kind of, all my relationships have just kind of ended quickly. Except for my current one.
Lucky dog.
Yeah, no fallout.
I keep running into crazy women. Then I have to run from them, and they follow. They chase. I think it's a game. It's like a dog playing
They
fetch.
enjoy the hunt.
They enjoy the hunt, Colton.
They're over there just sharpening a knife. Like, I can't wait until he turns the corner. Anyway,
I do have two. One of them's like a much longer... Actually, like a more satisfying story. One's just really creepy and weird.
Yeah, see, mine I have crazy encounters, but they're not relevant to today's story. We'll save those for another episode.
Next episode, Colton, crazy encounters. I'll tell the shorter second one next episode then.
You know what we'll
guys,
do? We'll set it up like a River Monsters episode. I'll just be like, crazy bitches.
Yeah, today's crazy exes, next week is crazy bitches. Guys, look, we've never ever planned episodes like this, and now it's just flowing. Okay, next week.
We're going to be single after this. I want you to know that. Anyway.
That's okay, Colton, because we have each other.
So, what story do you got in store for us? I know we're all excited.
Okay, and because I know I'm going to slip up, I'm establishing this now. I don't want to say her actual name because I would die. Her name for this story shall be
We're going to call her Sarah.
Yes, me and Colton already talked about it.
The most generic white girl name.
Yes. So, this story, and I actually thought about telling this story on the road trips episode because I realized, I have a road trip story. It just goes way on beyond the road trip.
Yeah, we did start to tell this story. We ended up having to cut, that episode would have been 3 hours.
We cut a lot out of that episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the Sarah story.
Dun dun dun. Anyway, I know I was there for the last bit of that. I caught the.
Oh,
end.
there was a lot before that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say my bit because
without further ado, because we keep stalling.
Yeah, we do.
So
Get that Showtime, baby.
the story.
Anyway,
So, I was a wee lad of 17 years old. So
a wee lad.
I was a wee
The
lad.
storm, she be a brewing.
So, anyway, I was homeschooled, and my parents, halfway because I've never had a real vacation, and the other half because they were like, graduation.
As you do as a homeschooler.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
my schooling was done down in Pensacola, Florida. And that might give away what I did. I don't care. So they are so big as a school when it comes to like doing homeschool stuff.
Yeah.
Like they host a separate homeschool graduation. And mine, just the graduation for the homeschoolers was like 500 people from around the U.S. and some of them were from other countries.
Yeah.
Some of them were from other countries. I can't say that. That's
Play
hard.
a drinking game with how many times you just said other.
I know.
Don't do that. That's dangerous.
No, if you play a drinking game with my stuttering, you will be drunk by the 10-minute
Now.
mark. So, we go, and I guess I'll talk a little bit about the trip. Why not? This will be the road trips part 2. So we get down there, and I get to take a tour of the school. Now,
Yeah.
11 years of my 12 years of schooling, I have watched videos
Well, yeah.
of these classrooms. So I know it in 2D. So, dude, when I stepped into one of those classrooms, you don't realize how mind-bending it is for something that you've only known in 2D. Suddenly
real life.
it exists in real life. It's not just a simulation. And like you exist in the place it is
feel like you've
crazy.
been blue-pilled. Like,
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to meet all the teachers. Not all of them, obviously, but I got to meet a lot of the main teachers from the videos
yeah.
that, like, taught me growing up, and they are talking to a camera, and suddenly every year there's hundreds of homeschoolers going, I know you!
talking to a camera, you just get in there like, yes, disembodied voice. How are you?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So, anyway, that's just meeting everyone. That was sick. But, so, the graduation day, it was a long day because we had to get there, we had to get our cap and gowns, we had to get, and then whatever awards we had.
You're trying to get through and you want to
And-
get everybody seated. Like,
Well, no,
Yeah.
here's the thing. We had to get there at
Oh.
like 7 or 8 a.m., and they ran through everything. And when I mean everything, I mean they ran our names, like ran us across the stage, like saying our names, make sure they pronounced it right for the families and like for videos and stuff. At the same time as running us across the stage by name, we would have to we took our individual pictures
Yeah.
then. So my last name's B.A., so I'm like right at the very beginning. And,
that's when you slip out the back. You're just like,
yeah, well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
At that point, we were able to stay ahead of pictures, but out of 500 people, and it takes a full minute or two per person to take a picture, that's a lot of time. So we're at the very beginning, and we get rested real quick, and we're sitting down, and suddenly we see this line is forming across the stage, and we're still like 4 rows in to a full front, like they had a big church that they had, and it was crazy. So after I think that was a 3-hour process of getting individual pictures. After that, we got like everybody pictures for like the whole class standing together. Those are actually insane. And so in that 3 hours, this is where the crazy not quite ex-girl story comes in. The person to my right, this is Sarah. And here's the thing. We had assigned seating, and I got there a little early, so did she. And the whole front row, there's only one other person in it besides her. And we had very strict assigned seating. And when you have a full front, like 20 seats long, and there's one person in it, what do you not do? Go sit right next to them. But of course, with assigned seating, I have to sit directly next to her with the whole thing. So it already started off weird. And I'm not going to lie, I will say, my first thought when I saw her kind of from like the side angle was like, oh, she's kind of pretty.
Oh, yeah. It's always the cover that you see. You know, it's never the book on the inside, you know.
The part about it is...
I mean, the Necronomicon looks cool on the outside, but...
Well, here's the thing. I thought that, and I was just like... Okay, maybe like good. I was like, good first impression. But but then here's the thing. I walk up and I'm like, hey, and I tried to play it off like a high schooler would, like, oh, I guess my seat's right here next to you, to play off that awkwardness of like we have assigned seating. So when she started talking, oh my god. You know the people where you hear their voice it just makes you want to go outside and shoot yourself? She had that voice.
Oh, she like that high-pitched, like...
No, actually, Becky. It wasn't that bad. There was a girl behind us, and... I don't know her name, never cared. So she was to my right, so it already started off awkward. But then there was this brother and sister that sat down on her right, so there was the 4 of us in a row. And we ended up being the 4 that were hanging out for the time, because, and it's exclusively because there were 2 dudes to my left. Of course there was more than that, but the 2 dudes I could talk to my left, I tried to talk to them at different points, and they were like the stereotypical awkward homeschooler.
Oh yeah.
And I would just look over and be like, hey guys, what's up? And they're like, good. And I'm like, wait a minute.
How are you?
So it was the 4 of us who kind of like got close, I guess, as friends. And so graduation goes by. It was a really long day. And you know what they say about college classes? You make the most friends in your classes by suffering together.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how we became pretty close friends, because after practicing and all that, they had a lunch that all the families came to, and it was like an hour of us just kind of waiting and like going on lunch and just kind of waiting back and forth. I mean, because underneath the cap and gowns, they had a dress code, and for girls it was like these dresses, and for guys it was basically a full suit without the suit jacket. So we're all hot like crazy too. And
oh, were you?
Yeah, we were. So the graduation actually only took an hour, which 30 minutes was for the teachers kind of doing their graduation speech stuff. And then the next 30 minutes was them walking 550 students, which, if you ask me, that is insane.
Oh, yeah.
Because the pace was literally first name, last name, pause. First name, last name, pause. But I really appreciated it because they were all like, we know you're not exclusively here for the graduation. Most of you are here for vacation. So we're flying through this graduation, and y'all go have fun. So that was their mentality. So it was actually really cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to make sure that everybody gets their... Because at the end of the day, the parents aren't there to see the other kids. They want to see their kid walk the stage, get that picture, be like, oh, hey, little Jimmy, now let's go to the beach.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we did.
You know, as they're throwing the other kids off the stage, like, all right, here.
Well, it was a crazy pace. It was
Here's
awesome.
Your diploma. Here's your $20.
Yeah, exactly. Like, get out. So that was cool. But that's about it for the whole trip.
You don't have to go home. You just can't stay here.
Yeah, exactly. So the 4 of us get each other's like numbers and stuff, and I eventually make a Discord, And I get back home, and
Oh,
I'm
yes,
back
Discord.
with all my friends. And yeah, this was right as me and later on in the story, I mentioned my co-streamer. Right as me and my co-streamer switched from Skype to Discord.
Psych to Discord,
We have an
yeah.
online friend named Psych. Hi, Psych.
I
if
love
you're
that
watching.
show.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love-
So anyway, I make a Discord server for us. Whatever, we're having fun. We're chilling.
Yeah,
we were
mean-
calling like every night. It was kind of weird how much we called, but high schoolers.
Yeah, I mean, you got nothing else to do. You're basically it's either sit at home and,
Yeah. So the four of us we're kind
hand.
of hanging out, doing games and talking and chilling and just spending time together, I guess. And so it's me, Sarah, and then the brother and sister. Well, the brother stops hanging out as much. I guess he got sick of it pretty quickly. And so it was the
Yeah.
three of us. And then the sister was kind of there half the time. So it was just me and Sarah some of the time, which was kind of weird. And by this point, college has started.
Yeah, but those
and-
awkward situations make relationships on their own because it's almost weird. Like you share that weird situation, you're like, oh hey, you know what, whatever.
Right. Well, I was going through a pretty fresh and pretty rough breakup as college started, and she jumped on the opportunity to hear like I broke up with my girlfriend, or she broke up with me. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was a rough breakup for me, but anyway, she jumped on that train like crazy and went, "Oh, you're single. I'm not going to take your feelings into account. You're mine." And that was her mentality. But at first, it was very easy and very
It didn't
like
hurt when I fell from heaven, but I scraped my knees coming out of hell, baby. Come on. Let's go.
I didn't think you were gonna say coming out of hell, so I'll just not mention that. Anyway,
Well, something was coming. Anyway,
so
the look he gave me.
here's the thing. We'll have cameras next week, but anyway, but
No promises.
well, at first because she first told me she liked me, keyword first. The first time she was like, Josh, I kind of like you, blah, blah, blah. I kind of want to get it off my chest, that kind of mentality. And I'm totally fine with someone just getting it off of their chest. That
Yeah.
is totally okay by me. But it did not stop there. Because I was like, look, I get it. Thanks, I guess. But, like, I'm fresh out of a breakup right now. Like, I need time before I even think about it.
Look, I'm fresh out of fucks to give. I could really care less if...
I have no more... Anyway.
Yeah,
we can't
that's
sing that.
like,
but
listen,
anyway.
copyright. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, I would sing that full anyway.
Amen.
That's a good song.
My life anthem.
Yeah, so she does that first time she tells me, and I'm just like, well, thanks, but no thanks. I didn't explicitly say no. I was just like, I need time after the breakup.
Well,
But
yeah.
she wasn't crazy at this point, so I thought that was enough to say, like, I need time. And that time ended up being like a few months. So, or a
So
little
not enough
longer.
time.
So not enough time.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. There was a second time. I don't remember how much longer later. I'm stuttering today a little bit. Anyway, I don't remember how much longer later it was, but it's like a few weeks probably. But she told me again, and it
Yeah.
seemed like it's like, hey, I think you forgot, so I'm gonna tell you so you know, like I'm next in line. It was that kind of mentality. It seemed like I was like, look, I am not interested in dating right now.
So, hold on. So she came up to you with like a sales pitch.
Basically.
I'm going to wait here until you come back. It's like, all right, I need some time to think. All right. You've had about 5 seconds. What's the answer? No, I'm still not
Basically,
feeling it.
yeah.
All right, that's fine. I'll come back later. Knock, knock, knock. All right, yeah, ready now? You ready?
Well, here's the other thing about I forgot to mention about the graduation. I mentioned this. People were from all over the United States and some from other countries that came to this graduation, and she lives 2 hours away from me. So I had to deal with that on my mind. Like, oh, she could just show up. Like, once she went crazy, it was like, oh, she could just show up. She did have my address because she sent me and the brother and
Yeah.
sister all stuff after graduation, just like, hey, here's a little fun stuff I wanted to send you guys. So she had my address.
She still has your address.
She still had. Oh God.
Yeah. Just thought I'd throw that thought in your mind. All right, have fun sleeping tonight. Anyway,
I'm
back to your
moving
story.
soon. No, I'm
Back-
not. So she tells me the second time. I'm just kind of like this time I'm more short about it. I'm like, look, I get it. whatever, like, I'm busy, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm busy crying myself to sleep at night. I don't want to, not really, but that's what I tried to get the point across. Like, look, it's just been a few weeks. Give me a break.
Yeah, things are rough. Give me a second.
Plus, like,
it's just naturally to do that.
Plus, like,
though.
this is my first semester of college, too, so I'm trying to get used to that.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if I've mentioned this before, but, like, all my friends dropped me once I graduated. And so I was kind of alone and starting fresh with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, all, like, who people I thought was my real friends are gone. So there's a lot of depressing stuff hitting me at once. And she's over here like, hee hi. And I'm like, no, please.
The last thing I need is
Last thing I need is you. So she starts.
I got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one. I don't need you to be gone, Satan. Anyway.
Right. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
she, out of nowhere, it's like a flip switched. And she starts
switch
messaging
flipped.
me. Yeah. Yeah. So she starts messaging me all the time, like, I like you, we should do something, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, no. Eventually, I blocked her on Discord after
Yeah.
it didn't take much longer, another week or two of that. And she starts making new Discords and all that jazz. Well, it was around that time that she started doing that. An account called Secret Admirer, like 14, messaged me and goes, hey, Josh, I really like you. And starts doing all that jazz. Because at this time, so to build a little context around my life at this point, outside of college, is me and a friend of mine co-streamed a lot of Minecraft. And we were building a pretty solid community on Discord.
Yeah.
And it took me a little bit to figure out who it was because I'm like, is she really that stupid to try to do this after I've told her no like 3 times at this point? And I was like, I need to figure out if it's someone from the Discord trolling me or if it's her trolling me. And after about 10 minutes, I figured out it was her. And after about 30 minutes, I forced her to reveal herself. I'm like, which not so much a secret admirer if after 30 minutes you give up your secrecy. But
After 30 minutes, the veil is gone. You're just like,
yeah.
listen,
So
playing Minecraft. You own a Minecraft server? I want you. I want.
you're making money playing Minecraft? Man. Which, speaking of, she was part of the reason that me and my co-streamer were making money. The amount that she donated to our streams.
Oh, you straight up had like
She was dropping just
Yeah.
per stream. She'd be like, here's $1, here's $2. Sometimes it'd be like, here's $8, here's $9. I'm like, you don't have a job. Where are you getting this money from? I didn't say this because, I mean...
Hey, free money.
Free money. I like that you knew.
I don't
But
want
I'm
the mama,
sitting there
but I'll
and I
take the
talked to
sugar.
my co-streamer later and I'm like, I don't know where she's getting this money from. She does not have a job. So she donated probably 70 or $80 total.
OnlyFans wasn't a thing at this time, so really, I don't know.
I don't know where. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know.
So,
Wow, that's weird. Anyway.
yeah. So, oh, let me write down one more thing. I remembered a part of the story.
Yeah, it's one of those things too.
Okay.
You basically had a, you know, those girls right now that you hear about all the time on like Twitch and stuff like that. They'll have those creepy admirers that are like, "Oh, I donate to you all the time. I quit my job. Love me. Oh, I didn't know you had a boyfriend." Mm-hmm. Like,
I was your boyfriend. Why? I donate to you on Twitch and
Yeah.
I watch you all the time.
it's literally
have a tattoo of your name
you
on my
had
left cheek.
the girl version of an incel.
Yeah, it was bad. Anyway, I just remembered a different part of the story that is essential.
She
I'm gonna pretend she sells seashells by the seashore. Anyway,
yes.
well, we met at the beach, so kind of. So anyway, so this is after me blocking her and she making like 7 accounts and all that. There was a little bit of silence there, and it was nice because at the same time in the Discord there was this one chick. Was not her, by the way. There was this one, at least as far as I know.
You
it
can
wasn't
call her what you want, but determined is definitely a word.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, this is kind of a side story, but it still applies later on. So there's this one chick that joined. I'm just gonna call it the JO. That's the letters that my community. Nice, Dr. Pepper, you got there.
Yeah, thanks.
That's,
I was trying to open that silently.
That's the letters of our like community we had back then. JO. So
I thought you were about to say it was Dr. Pepper.
yeah,
Like,
so
wow, that's weird.
JO there was this girl that joined, and she was just trolling. It was like obviously for attention, and
yeah.
she was just spamming a bunch of stuff, and then she was like trolling everybody, being mean, and then she'd message me and be like, I love you so much. You're my favorite. I'm your favorite, and blah, blah, blah. And I knew this wasn't Sarah because she was still messaging me from like
Do you
her
think they
main
were
account
talking,
when
though?
they
Because
started.
it's a little weird that she started.
Well, she was messaging Sarah. So if she played both sides
Maybe.
of this, then
Congratulations.
because this was really well done. But well,
She
it's also
deserves an acting
sad.
job.
I guess because here's the thing. It gets rough if it was her. So I really have made myself not believe it was her. So after a while of trolling, and this person made like 18 different accounts to troll us. So there were some parallels at the beginning. And like I said, this really sounds like it was her, but I'm really trying to think it wasn't Sarah because, dear Lord, this is messed up.
I was going to say, it could have just been a friend of hers, or it could have been that sister that was with you.
No, it wasn't her.
was another
She's
sister?
actually
Yeah.
really chill. She messaged me the other day and was like, hey, it's been a while, and we caught up.
Because it makes sense. I don't know. I just feel
But
like...
anyway, it
yeah.
probably was her. I really don't want to believe it because it's messed up. But after a while of like me talking to this person and being like, hey, like, what's up? And it's like they need some counseling or therapy or something. Here's the thing. I had gone through an experience with an online friend
Yeah.
in my life where they were acting like suicidal and stuff. And I thought it
Yeah.
was a joke. And I didn't treat it like it was serious, and then they attempted suicide. So in my brain, I'm sitting there like,
Yeah. It's one
I
of
don't
those-
care who it is. If they even seem like they're close to that, I am there in a heartbeat.
As you should be.
Because
yeah.
I was young at that time. I was like 14 or 15, so I didn't really know about all that because I was really a protected
yeah,
child.
you never know that as a kid, but it's just like, it's something you have to take seriously. Because
Right.
it's
Well,
like,
here's the thing. I'd rather be, and this is my mindset I
Yeah.
still have to this day, and it's like I'd rather be there for someone who is trolling and is just trying to get attention than not be there for someone who's genuinely needs help and then that something happens. So
Yeah.
anyway, so this person starts acting kind of suicidal and all that, and I'm like, man, like I just made this kind of promise with myself. What if it's Sarah? I don't know, but like even then, I need to talk. So I've held myself to this through the years. But anyway,
So that's
we
what
talk.
they were doing then. They were like...
It
threatening.
probably was her. Again, I really don't want to believe it. I think it was just someone else trolling.
No, I was saying that they were threatening suicide.
They were
on Sarah's
threatening
part, or
suicide.
was it the friend?
No, this was the random person who joined as a
Okay,
troll.
okay.
Yeah. So, this was a while too. One night, this troll, who originally was a troll, is messaging me like, "That's it, I'm ending it all." Blah 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 blah. And then the next day, I get messages from someone claiming to be their mom, going like, "Hey, so and so, like."
Yeah, because I remember this. We had just started talking right at the beginning of this.
Yeah, they were like, hey,
Like,
so
really
and so,
talking.
like my daughter like killed herself, blah blah blah. And she's like, I read through the messages, thank you for trying to be there for her, stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, like this feels weird. Like I still think it's a troll.
Yeah, it's just...
And it felt like a troll, but I also, like I said, I treated it seriously. Because I mean, what if that was a situation where it is a mom finding something, which it sounds ridiculous saying it back now, but at the time I was like 17, 18. And
Yeah.
I was fresh to being not umbrella parented, so I'm sitting there like, man, I
It's
need
really-
to figure this out.
It's
So-
really kind of a sick thing to do.
It's
honestly.
a sick
it's not
thing if
something
it's a
you joke
troll.
about.
Which here's the thing, they
Yeah.
never messaged again, and I don't know where their account went, and even the Sarah situation was dead. Like it carried the beginning of it kind of carried into, and then it was dead for a while during that,
Yeah,
and a
it's-
while after that.
So was it Sarah that they were saying killed herself then, or was
No,
it...
this was the
Oh,
troll.
okay, the
This
troll.
is the troll was some girl who whatever. So this had
Okay.
unless it was Sarah pretending, it had nothing to do with Sarah. And another reason I think that it wasn't Sarah was they would be in the Discord talking, messaging at the same time. Mm-hmm. So unless she was literally on her phone, type something on her computer and pressing send.
That's what I was saying earlier. Is I don't think it's the same person. I think it's
I don't think
probably
it's
just
the
her
same
friend
person.
or somebody that
I
she was
don't-
talking to.
Again, I don't. It could have been. I don't know. No one knows. I don't even know if that suicide was real. But anyway, here's why I mentioned that. She had her profile picture, the troll did, as like her face or whatever, like personality, who it was a person's face. And their face, like she would send like pictures, nothing bad or anything, just of her face, to like group chats and all that, and like make group chats just to send those pictures. And it was really weird.
Yeah.
And all that. And then a few months go by after that, where that happened and her mom messaged and blah blah blah, so and so, so that's the end of that little era, and it kind of sucked, because that's a weird experience to have, even if it's fake.
Yeah, it's an odd.
But anyway, Sarah made a new Discord. I said her name. I have to remember to cut that. Sarah made a new Discord, and like this is months later, she's kind of doing the same thing. And
yeah, it's I know one thing that happened with this a lot is like
I got sick of it.
yeah, she kept texting you, and she eventually get back to you about it?
Well, no, here's the thing. She did have and I don't remember that part very well. I'll tell it later. But she was weird. Like she would still message like Happy New Year, Happy Birthday, and stuff, and I would block the accounts. But then there was a time where she tried to get back, and I would still block her. Then a account on Instagram messages me.
Yeah, I remember.
And you should remember this part of the story. So this account on Instagram messages me, and it's some chick, and it's a profile picture that I kind of recognized, but I couldn't place who it was at the time.
Mm-hmm. Didn't that other girl also try to pop back up in your life at some point too? The one that supposedly committed suicide?
Oh,
like
no,
somebody was texting on her account or something?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
It was done once the quote-unquote mom messaged.
Oh, okay.
Like, that was it. So, which sounds like a troll still. It could have been all that. But anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, this Instagram account, I kind of recognized the face. I couldn't place it because obviously small picture. And this person's messaging me, and at this point I'm like, oh, it's probably a bot. And I'm messaging back to screw around, and I quickly figure out, oh, this isn't a bot. In messaging back and forth, found out like, oh, we're into a lot of the same stuff. Like, oh, I also play the clarinet. Oh, I also used to play soccer. Oh, also, and it was like a bunch of coincidences, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting trolled. But by who? And they claimed to go to our city's school.
Yeah.
Where we currently go. She claimed to go there. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm at our community college. And she's like, oh, great. And I wanted to call this troll out. And I'm like, because I could tell it was a troll from the very beginning. I just didn't know who. So I'm looking at her account, who she's following. The only pictures that she has on her account were of the bridge downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And I typed that in Google. I'm like, obviously our city, downtown bridge. And it was like the first or second image that popped up with like a filter over it. So I was like, okay, obviously it's a fake account. And she's following a lot of people from UTK. I'll just say it, from UTK.
Yeah.
And she's following people from there after claiming to go to our school. And she's also following my high school ex. The one from before Sarah.
Yeah, so she's basically Instagram stalking you.
So I'm getting Instagram stalked at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, I thought it was one of my ex's friends now playing a trick on me. Because this was, I don't remember how much later this was. The timeline's gone at this point. But I thought it was one of them. So I'm like, okay, let's have some fun. So I start messaging back to this account like I'm so interested. I'm like, wow, we have so much in common. And the next, like, we talk for, this was like a Wednesday, and we talk up through like Friday, I think.
Yeah.
So,
at some point during the week.
Well, I remember it was a Friday. I forget if it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday. But anyway, we're talking. And the next, like the second day of talking, I'm like, hey, we should try to meet up sometime. Because like I'm trying to call out the troll. And they start going like, oh yeah, let's actually meet up. And they set a time and a place. And I'm like, oh God. And of course I was really calling their bluff. I was like, oh yeah, totally, let's do it. And it was like that Saturday at some restaurant downtown.
Oh,
So
didn't they like cancel on you or something?
well,
I
that's
remember this.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the next part of the story. So we're talking. So Friday, I wake up and I'm at our school, community college.
Yeah.
And I had a math test that day. And the way I took my math tests here was they had like a final review. And I would do the entire final review before I went into the test. And then I would go in and take the test, and I would almost ace it every single time. Mm-hmm. But it's because all of the stuff from the finals, the same stuff as the test, and it would all be fresh. So I did that. Well, that's already like a 6 or 7 hour process.
Yeah, you're destroyed by the end of it.
You're destroyed by the end of it. And this final review was longer than others. It was like 50 questions. I get to question like 47, and MyLabs Plus crashes. And I lost all of my progress on it. And the only way to take the test is if you have a 70% completion on the final review.
Oh, no.
And I lost all my progress. I was at like 96% done.
That's funny.
And it all disappears. Well, it may be funny now. I was pissed.
Oh, yeah. No.
Because I'm sitting there like, I have to restart because it's already been like 3 hours that I've just been taking my time going through. So now I'm stressed out of my mind. And I look down at my phone and I got a message from this Instagram account that goes, what are you doing? I got a message from my Instagram account that's like, or from that Instagram account. And she's like, hey, I think I need to call it off. And I'm like, you ain't about to break up with me, not right now.
I'm breaking up with you.
I'm breaking up with you. Of course I know it's a troll.
Just come straight in there like, listen, girl.
Exactly.
I am
here's
not
the thing.
to be
I
trifled
still
with.
knew it was a troll, but I was there like, at first I was like, no, we're meeting up. And she was like, no, seriously, we can't. And I'm like, okay, fine. How about this? I know you're a troll. Dropped the reasons. And I'm like, who are you right now? And I'm expecting, like, a friend of my ex. And she's like, no, I can't tell you. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
And finally, she's just like, I'm
Who's the
Sarah.
mystery?
Or no, she doesn't even say that. She goes, who's the only one dumb enough to do this? And I immediately, of course, I'm like, did Sarah make another account? So oh my God. When that bombshell was dropped, I'm like, leave me alone. Never message me again. I'm totally done. And I block her on everything except her number because I forgot I had her number because I had her on like everything, Instagram, Snapchat, Discord.
Yeah. I mean, you guys had her, or you had her just pretty much everywhere.
Pretty much everywhere because, like, not a friend at this point, but like was a friend for a while.
Oh, what was the, you had the quintessential equivalent of like creepy internet girlfriend?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah,
which
guys,
is scary at that
dated.
point because, like I said, she was only 2 hours away.
Basically stalking you.
Basically stalking me. Like, thank God it didn't start in person.
Yeah, I know, honestly.
That would have been... And imagine trying to explain that, hey, this girl that lives 2 hours away is now here trying to stalk me. What's your proof? Her. like I don't know how I would have gotten
I don't
proof.
really have
and
any proof.
They're not going to believe that just
She's
from
in
the
the
guy's
bushes.
perspective of the girl. Yeah, exactly. So...
I have some binoculars. I'm pretty sure my room is bugged. I don't really have a lot of proof, though.
Yeah.
She handed me a weird teddy bear that had an odd smell to it. Anyway.
So anyway, let's see. I wrote down the parts of this story. Let's see. So through this point, like every few months after
Is that chloroform?
So, like I said, I forgot to block her on like the number, on her phone number. So after a few months, she started messaging me like, Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy birthday, Happy Valentine's Day, Happy Easter Day, and stuff like that.
Happy Boxing Day.
Yeah, exactly. Happy George Washington Day. It's like, stop messaging me.
Happy Lefaxon Day. Anyway.
So, anyway, yeah. So,
That was stupid.
yeah, it was. But anyway.
Let's just appreciate that. And anyway.
Okay, yeah, just let that soak in for a minute. But,
Yeah, so she's been
she's
basically
still at that
stalking you,
point going on, And I had already blocked everything, and I didn't think of blocking her number. And then even when she was doing that, for some reason, I didn't think of blocking her number. And that would have brought an end to it. So let's see what happens next. So there's this part where like I have to look at my script now because this is just stuff I kind of vaguely remember.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, I remember, but I think after this, didn't she she dropped you on Instagram for a little bit, and then she texted you.
She texted me out
like her
of
boyfriend,
the blue.
supposedly.
It was her
yeah.
boyfriend. That's the next part.
Yeah, I remember this now.
So if you remember any details that I don't say, feel free to say it. But she messages me, and I forget what about this boyfriend she's talking
weirdo,
about.
or supposedly it was like an abusive relationship, or what was it?
I think it was an abusive relationship, and unless she got literally someone else with a separate phone involved, this dude, like, for some reason... Oh, here's what it was.
Which, again,
the cover story, which, I may not believe.
Well, I was going to
say,
even then, like, that's one of those things you always take seriously, even if it's, like, not...
I didn't, because I was so sick of it. Well, here's the thing. I'm like, you can get out. Like, she still lived at home with her mom. You can get away.
Yeah, she wasn't in a detrimental situation.
She wasn't, like, moved in with the guy and, like, had 3 kids with him. And it was like, okay, like, you can actually take a step back, like, call the police, do something. So, she...
Like Jonathan and his 3 wives.
Yeah, exactly. The 4 now. Yeah. So anyway...
7 kids in Venezuela.
Yeah. So she... Apparently from his, like... abusive boyfriend stuff.
Anyway.
So from that, he apparently went through her phone and started texting people by their number, like, "Who are you? Ha 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 ha." And I think she texted me to be like, "Hey, he did this. Blah blah blah." And I'm like, I was pissed because I'm like, how much of my information does this guy know?
Yeah, like, why is he talking to me?
This dude had my number, and remember how I said my address?
Yeah,
he has my address. He has my everything. And I'm like, so this dude's crazy enough to be this abusive boyfriend where he's so controlling of you that he can't even take that you talked to dudes over a year ago.
Yeah.
And now he has my number and my address? That is not okay. So, I don't know if this was a fake or not. Now, he starts texting me from this number, and he's being super crazy. And I don't even remember what he talked about. I just remember at one point, out of the purple, it was so far out of the blue, it was out of the purple. He sends me a dick pic. Me?
What?
I know, that's so out of the blue.
Hold on, I forgot about that.
Because you remember that now, right?
Was he trying to, like, measure? Was he hoping you sent one back? Like, what was happening?
I don't know. Like, how much better am I than you? Like, I don't... But he straight up sends me that.
What you got, anyway.
But he straight up sends me that. And I'm like... And this is after he's messaging me, kind of
Does
not harassing me.
Does he know he sent it to you?
Yes. And so, at this point, he's texting me... And at first he starts texting me, kind of like harassing me a little bit. And then he starts asking me about Sarah. And I'm just like, why after all of that would I tell you about her? And because he was like, dude, she's crazy. Like, this bitch crazy. Like having that sort of saying that. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, if she's crazy, then leave. Like, and stop messaging me. And then he sends that out of nowhere after like we said like a final goodbye. He sends that out of nowhere. And I'm just like, I'm deleting this. So I deleted that. And apparently not long after he broke up with her.
God, she was so crazy he switched sides.
I know. She was so crazy. He legitimately switched sides and took my advice of just leave them because he broke up with her. So who does she start messaging again? Me! So and here's the thing, she's really upset, and she's like, I'm sorry about my past, and blah, blah, blah. And she gets to the sister, and this is like the majority of like the final climax of the story.
Oh, it was a climax of the story, all right.
Anyway, so she gets back in touch with the sister that we graduated with, and it was like, can you help me like talk to Josh one time? I just want to apologize and get everything off my chest and like address everything. And she goes, okay. So the sister messages me and goes, hey, like, Sarah told me everything that's going on. Can we just have a call to get everything taken care of? And she was just looking out for everyone's best interest.
Yeah, she was tired of everything that was happening. Because, like, I remember this.
She heard a little bit about it.
Yeah, this was like a group thing almost at this point, right? Like
Well, no,
everybody
no,
kind
no,
of
no,
knew
no.
what was
Here's
going on.
well, I've told the story at this point. It's been a long time.
Oh yeah.
So this was like over a year or two. This is happening. So because the sister messaged me, I'm like, sure. Now I was in a call with my co-streamer, and I'm like, oh my god. And he goes, what? And I go, remember the Sarah story? And he went, no way, that's coming back up. And I'm like, they want to do a call, like now. And he's like, ooh, I want to join. And he's like,
Which is never good.
no, that's never
Which
good,
is-
especially with my co-streamer. It was never good. So
We can get some content out of this. Let's
exactly.
go.
So, well, here's the thing. What he would do is he wanted to message me stuff behind the scenes, and he would come up with the most out of the like world statements. That's like shocking stuff that you could say, like shot in the back of the head kind of stuff.
Yeah, like
And-
this is gonna get us censored, kind of. We're not repeating it on the podcast, kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. So and I knew this, except I also knew it was Sarah,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, I got you. Like you messaged me stuff in the background, I'll say, because we were treating it like a troll. Like the whole thing
Yeah.
has been the entire time, because he knows the story and he
Yeah,
knew
but
what was happening. So
You
we
can
get
only
on
annoy somebody so much before they finally just decide, screw you, I'm done.
right. So we
Yeah.
get on the call. And Sarah and like the sister's kind of being a moderator, and so is my co-streamer. That he's just faking it. And so Sarah's kind of going on into a little sad sob stuff, and then it's kind of coming back to me, and I'm only saying about half the things that he's sending me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I only said the stuff that was only minorly offensive, and until the very end. So this call was like what 45 minutes ish, give or take,
I'm
like
not
maybe up
sexist,
to an
I hate
hour.
everyone equally anyway.
Exactly. So anyway, she's on like and even the sister's getting sick of it. Like, hey, can we like wrap this up soon? So Sarah's on this like final like.
Yeah,
I can't say it
it's
was
like the
beautifully
feel bad for
constructed,
me,
but the feel
like,
bad for
yeah.
me sort of like constructed thing. And it's a whole like 10-minute little speech. And at this point, she's starting to tear up, and you can hear
Which-
like do
The
little
way
sniffles.
she'd been acting the entire time is like borderline emotionally abusive, because she's pretty much trying to be like,
Borderline.
oh, yeah. It's like, feel bad for me, like I deserve to be in a relationship, because it's just like, dude, nobody's gonna date you over a sob story. Like,
Right.
Find some actual substance to your life.
That's not me. Anyway, so so my co-streamer messages me as she's in the middle of this, and he's like, dude, I found this image. This has to be, or no, earlier he said, he's like, I found this image, and I'm like, okay, I'll make that my final, like my grand goodbye. And he starts going like, dude, this is your chance. This is the last thing you're going to say. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to leave the call. You want to know
Yeah.
the grand thing that he told me to say? The image is
was the grand
an
thing?
oversaturated image of a minion. And I'll say it when I say it in the story. So she stops, and the sister's like, Josh, do you have anything else to
Crying
say?
at this point, you're just like,
And
here's
I-
the final blow.
I like crack my knuckles. Yeah, it was the final. It's like,
You're just like winding
Look
up the
out.
left hook.
boom. So
Yeah.
I go, I do have one thing to say. And she's like, okay, go ahead. And I pull up the image, and it reads exactly as follows. All I'm have to say to you is thanks. Thanks for showing me what a fake friend look like. Bitch lasagna.
Such an asshole move. Like that is such a dick move. You're just
I
like,
said that word for word, and as the word lasagna left my lips, I hung up on the call.
let me show you exactly how much of a fuck I do not give.
So, here's
Hold
the
on, I
thing.
just baked a fresh one for you.
So,
know.
I hang up the call, and I immediately am calling my co-streamer, and it rings, and it rings, and it rings, and then he finally joins. And for me, I mean, it was only a few
Yeah,
seconds.
I
It was like
mean-
10 seconds. And he tells me what happened after I left. And he goes, dude, she lost her mind sobbing. She is
That is
bawling in that
terrible.
call. And
That's awful.
And then well, he said that, and I started laughing, which is probably awful. But then he goes, she's crying, and you want to know his grand exit? What he said?
I'm afraid to ask. What? I'm afraid.
His grand exit, as the sister's just sitting there, like, kind of like, what did he just say? And
Like,
Sarah is
even
losing her
she's
mind.
impressed. She's just like-
she's like, oh my god. And my co-streamer just kind of sits there for a second. It's almost the equivalent of being in a room, just looking around and going, and he said this. He just goes, damn, that's crazy. And he hangs up.
He hit her with a damn, that's crazy.
And he left.
He's just like, damn, that's messed up.
Yeah, that's what he said. Damn, that's messed up.
Yeah.
He hit her with a damn, that's crazy, man.
Damn, that's crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, but that's what he said. Damn, that's messed up. And he left and joined the call with me. We were but again, she had already, like, wore out her welcome, really.
He basically just said, well, I'm going to let myself out. You have a wonderful day.
So, even the sister, she messaged me later and was like, that was kind of rough, but I don't blame you. So, Sarah never messaged me very much after that. It was just kind of like the still weird, like, happy birthday, Merry Christmas, and I ignored it all.
Yeah.
And
because I know a little bit of a caveat to this, too, is like, you weren't the only one dealing with it. Like, I know the sister had been seeing what was going on for a while, and even she was just like, I don't know why she's doing this.
well, kinda. She was
Yeah.
half involved, half not. Even Daniel got involved for a little
Well,
bit.
like, other people, though, were even seeing, like, this is weird.
The entire, like, JO community was, like, they knew about it because she was there. So it was like, there was a lot of people affected by just her being crazy.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, that's a crazy
Well, especially
story.
whenever you do streams and stuff like that, you end up running into weirdos. That I don't know if it's like the attention or what, but
I guess. And that was the end of the story until, well, I mean, it is the end of the story still, but I saw where, like, 6 weeks ago, she sent me a friend request on Facebook, and her profile picture is her pregnant.
I guess the boyfriend didn't break up with her.
I guess. So
I'm sorry, I didn't realize this continued. What?
yeah, no, that's well, it doesn't continue after that. I haven't accepted it. I don't think I will, because no, I'm not inviting that back into
I mean,
my
for
life.
content's sake, might as well.
All right, let me
Might as
find her right
well.
now. She's still on my Facebook on the request list.
All
But
right.
yeah, her profile picture is like her pregnant. So I'm just like, you have your baby, leave me out of it.
Man, that's a hell of a beard, gut. Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll cut that joke out anyway. You
No,
guys know.
no, we won't.
Darn it.
That's the end of my story. I like the finale of that story a lot. Oh my god, we've been recording for
That's-
such a long time.
And that's how I met your mother. Anyway.
Oh my god. Oh my lord.
I sent a dick pic and she sent one back. Anyway.
Have you seen the dude on AGT who sings a song about
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking.
yeah, it's the old guy who sings a song about she's got a penis. It's a good song. Anyway, that's my story for the day.
That's all I, on that note, that is all the time we have for today.
I took up all the time, baby.
Oh, yeah, you did. This is a Josh special.
Yeah, I did. Wait.
All right, thank you for joining Accept the Moments today. I've been your host, Colton. This is Josh.
Hi, that's me.
And thank you for accepting the moments with us. You guys have a wonderful day.
See you in the next one. Bye.